Hi there. I thought that many of you might never have seen a complete new Breathsaver set from a factory, and maybe haven't ordered them before, and you'd just be interested. This is a set that I just ordered. It came in what is this, a USPS priority mail package from Seydel Company from Rupert Oistler. This is a set of Breathsavers for Seydel Symphony 64. And to some extent, the Breathsavers are specific to model. Some are a little wider, some are a little thinner. I think that the Symphony Breathsavers are probably as good as you can get, although Honors are good too. I'll explain a little bit more about what the various types of Breathsavers are from some of the various companies, and when I get done just showing you. Well, they come in this package and then they're firmed up with this cardboard, and then, you know, when you open it up, you'll see that you have, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, Breathsavers don't go on every hole. They certainly do not go on the final hole, and sometimes not even on the second to final hole on the right. So this is enough. There's enough Breathsavers here to do 2 or 3 harmonicas, because you're always going to have some wastage. Sometimes they don't go on right. You have to pull them off. But anyway, so you definitely want to make sure that when you get them that you do not bend these. They must be kept absolutely flat. So I would put them back into this holder and then put this holder into this, and then you'll just know, okay, I've got a decent set of Breathsavers. They're very easy to bend up and damage. Let's talk a little bit about various types of Breathsavers. I think that the best ones are the Seydel. They are the lower part of the Breathsaver is a dimpled Teflon, which does not stick to the reed plate very much. And then there's an acetate layer, which is a type of thin plastic film on top of that. And the two, you know, the upper one that's the acetate pushes down a little bit harder, and then the Teflon can go up and down, and the dimples keep it from having stiction, S-T-I-C-T-I-O-N, against the reed plate. So that's like one type, and you'll find that the Seydel Saxony Breathsavers, I believe, are a little bit thinner, but you could probably use a Symphony Breathsaver on a Saxony with no problem. Now, Honors, depending on which ones you have, they might both be acetate layers, but some of the more modern ones, I believe, also have the dimpled Teflon. And let me just take a peek here and see if I can verify that factoid for you, if that's actually the case. I'm looking. This is not the ones I want. Here we go. These are the Honors in here. I'm going to be setting up a space dedicated to doing repair only. Right now it's my table here. Let's take a look. This is a Honor set. This is a dimpled acetate, very thin layer with acetate on the top, but some of the others are a little different. This is one that's very typical for what you see on Honors. And this one is, again, an acetate on top of a very, very thin acetate layer. So Honor is acetate, which work. But some other little things about Breathsavers. Okay. You want the same Breathsaver type on your entire harp, because they actually, believe it or not, do play differently. The ones that are Teflon respond faster and pull up quicker. So you want them the same. You know, in other words, if you're using Honor, stay with the Honor. If you're using Seydel, use Seydel. Try to match it. Your goal is for the harp to respond as identically hole to hole as is possible in all respects. I use an overhang of 0.5 millimeter over the far end of the Breathsaver on its free moving end. I don't have a lot of overlap like 1 millimeter, and you want to be careful when you're putting the Breathsavers on the reed plate, which will face the inside of the comb. You want to make sure that your placement of the Breathsaver will allow the Breathsaver to clear the comb channel. It's quite common that they'll just graze and they may hang up. So be careful about that you actually are placing them. And you can tell because there'll be a marking from your mouth goop on the reed plate, showing you. Let me show you what that means. I'm talking about that. Ta-da. Here we go. This is a reed plate from a Hohner CX12, and you can see the shapes here. Well, that's the shape of the comb chamber. You can see the spit burned into the brass a little bit. But you can tell where the edge is that you want to stay clear of. You don't want to get over where this is dark because that's covered by the comb. You want to stay in the clear part right here. So placement of the Breathsaver is extremely important. I've used a lot of different kinds of glue on Windsavers. I use crazy glue, which I place onto an index card, and then I tap it with a toothpick so that I can apply just the smallest amount of glue. I recommend that, but you got to move quick because that glue, once you touch that Breathsaver to the reed plate, it's going to stick within 1 second to 1.5 seconds. So you have to place it correctly, but it will not let loose over time. That's what I like about it, whereas the rubber-based glues do age and will fail, as you've seen, where you have multiple Breathsavers falling off your harp after 3 years or even less sometimes. You order these directly from the factory is what I do. I go online on the Seydel site, English, and get to the accessories section and go to the Breathsavers and order a kit, and they get shipped in a timely manner. You got to have the right parts, to do professional level, repairs, and the Breathsavers are very, very important to the instrument, to its proper playing. I've heard some people say, "Oh, just take them off; it won't matter." It certainly matters. It changes the sound and it changes the way it plays. I hope that you've enjoyed this discussion of Breathsavers, and now you know what they look like when you order a full set and where to get them, and a little bit about what they're made out of, how to place them. I do have some videos up on replacing Breathsavers that you might want to look at. Thank you for joining me for this discussion.